Hi guys, Boise here. Today I'm just going to do a simple tutorial video on how to spawn in AI flights on the full mission builder in IL2 Callisto Dover. Now what I have here is a pre-prepared base map with some bits and pieces on. We're not going to worry about that for now, that's going to be covered in another video. For now this is just, once you have these bits in place, how to get AI doing things for you. So here we have Hydroquent airfield with various spawn points on it and decorations and so on and so forth. What we're going to do is we're going to get an AI aircraft to fly over the airfield, so I can show you how to set that up in basic format. Now what you need to do is obviously select the aircraft type you want first and go from there. So we go to view here on the top bar and select object browser. Now here you can choose a variety of items, and of course this time we're going to go for aircraft, and then you can sort by various categories here. Countries a useful one, and we're going to go Germany, and we're going to create an AI friendly aircraft flying over the airfield. Let's do the FW200, quite a big aircraft, should look quite cool going over the airfield. So once you've selected all that, and of course you can view the aircraft if you're unfamiliar with it or want to see some details before you pop it on. Okay, so once you've got that, we want to place it onto the map. Now what you do here is you put your mouse where you want the aircraft to be, hold down left control and press left click, and there it is. And if you hover over it you can see the aircraft type there. Now it's flashing, which means it's selected and you can do stuff to it over here. If you want to unselect it or delete it, you right click over it and then unselect or delete as you wish, but we want to have that again, so we're going to click on it again. Now, so that's where the aircraft's going to start. Now what I'm simply going to do is have it fly over the runway to the other side of the airfield. So we're going to do left click and control again the other side of the airfield, so you've then created a direction and a route for it to fly. And we'll get him to fly off here somewhere as well, just to have him going somewhere after that point. Now, as it is now, that will fly over the airfield, but we want to look at what height he's going to fly over and speed and so on and so forth. So we go to Group Properties first, and you'll see there's a variety of stuff here. I'm not going to look at that quite yet. We're going to go to Waypoint. Now you'll see here the altitude is 500 meters and the speed is 300 kilometers an hour. That's fine for now. If you're doing other things you'll want to amend that, particularly bombers. You might want to make them a bit slower if you're doing big raids and so on and so forth, but for what we're doing it doesn't really matter. And if you press previous, you'll go to the previous waypoint, which is detailed here. So 0, that's that waypoint there, 1, that waypoint there, and obviously 2, that waypoint there. And you'll see each one I click, the details stay the same. You can select an action for each waypoint, and for the purpose of this it's just going to be normal fly, but this is where you would set it up if you wanted to do ground attack or free hunt or escort or whatever it may well be, but for now normal flight is all we're after. Okay, so basically you've got other options here for sort of skins and so on and so forth. We're not going to concern ourselves with that at the moment. So what would happen now, if we were to load this mission on a multiplayer server or lobby, that would then have that aircraft fly over, and that would be a very simple AI spawn done. What we're going to do though, because we're just going to play the mission to see if it works, we need to create a player plane so you can actually see it, because at the moment it would load and you wouldn't be able to load in unless you're doing a server or something. So we're simply going to place a playable aircraft onto the airfield so that we can see what's going on. So if I zoom in a bit more here, it's going to be the same principle. In fact, I'm going to unselect that and do it again. So we're going to place another aircraft, so we go to view again, object browser, and select our aircraft. I'm just going to go for a simple E1, that'll do the job for this, and left control and left click on your mouse, plonk them down. Now the difference this time is, as you'll notice the other one, it auto spawns in the air by default, so you have to change what you're doing with it. So here I'm going to change it slightly. So on the waypoint, rather than normal flight, I want it to be takeoff, i.e. it's on the ground. And once that's done, you'll see the altitude is 0 and the speed is 0, because it's effectively a stationary aircraft. But another important thing here is you click spawn parked here, i.e. spawn the aircraft parked, which is what we want. And the final thing you have to do is click this box here, player. So it will tell the computer that when you load the mission, that's for the player to jump straight into without having to select anything. Okay, so now that's done, I'm going to unselect that aircraft, close that window down, and we'll play the mission and chocks in. Okay, and there he is, flying over the airfield. And you can actually use external views to have a good look at it. You'll see the airfield underneath there. And my little aircraft just there as well. Now what he'll do, he'll fly along merrily until he gets to the waypoints, and then we'll take a course change. There he goes. Okay, that worked. So press escape and exit. Okay, so in effect we've created an AI flight there. Now what we can do is we can change it a little bit, add more of them there, change the height, so on and so forth. So right click properties, and if you go to group properties, you have the option to add more in. Now we had one in before, but you can change it to 3, so you have 3 aircraft in that particular flight, and then you can have multiple flights behind that if you wish, but we'll just change it to 3. You can also change the altitude. Now I had this set up to 500 meters, but I've changed it to 200 there. And if you want the same altitude throughout all waypoints, just simply press this button and it will change every waypoint to that altitude. Or alternatively, you could press sort of previous and next and change each waypoint to be a different altitude. That's down to you. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll test run that one again, and this time there should be 3 aircraft and they should be a little bit lower. And there they are, flying over. Look at that. And again, we'll do an external view of those guys and see how they look. Just let them fly over first. See it from the cockpit. It's quite cool. Okay, let's go external. And that is how you create a very simple air-spawned